Do you know, chums, the other day I was looking through some old theatrical posters. You know what it's like. And you look back and you think, wow, there was some great entertainment on, particularly when you had your summer vacation and you went, say, onto those wonderful summer long holidays with your mum and dad. And over here in the United Kingdom, it could be in those places like Bognor, Southend, Morecambe, Blackpool, Southport, you know, the sort of thing. And they had all the big stars, didn't they, starring in the summer seasons for the season. So the people that you've been watching in the winter on your black and white TV or your very early colour TV, suddenly they were right before, forgive the pun, Arthur Askey, your very eyes, of course, literally at the theatre, and you were on holiday as well. So that was really exciting too. And it got me thinking, in fact, because I was meeting someone recently and I met them, as I say, very briefly in the street, and we were just chatting about different things, and they were saying how much, you know, don't be this big-headed, but how much they enjoyed the channel, and we were talking about different people. And they said that they'd been lucky enough to see Barry Manilow in concert at the London Palladium just last year when he was over here. And I said, oh, what was it like? And she said, you know, it was terrific and he was wonderful. But she said the best bit about it was that, in fact, he got somebody up from the audience. And she said, this just literally made this woman's night. And I thought, yeah, that would be an unforgettable moment, wouldn't it? You know, not only standing on the London Palladium stage, but sitting or singing, maybe trying at least, alongside the legendary Barry Manilow. And this poster, I think it's called Happiness Ahead, Mildred Crossley. Well, she used to run what they call a concert party up in Cleveland, just, you know, down the road from Blackpool. And in that show, she'd have all these juveniles, as they called them, who sometimes got their very big break in the world of show business. Another man who did incredibly well over in Blackpool was a guy called Peter Webster, and he had talent competitions twice a day, 11 and 2 p.m. on the Central Pier. So you can understand a great time if you were, shall we say, of a thespian nature. Now, I never went in for those talent competitions. You might be stunned by this, chums, because obviously being in theatre and in that world, I didn't really feel the need to. And also, even at that very young age, I knew the skullduggery and these sort of, shall we say, difficulties that might go on behind the scenes, particularly if perhaps, you know, mummy and daddy were quite well off. You get the picture. Now, I wanted to ask you this. Have you been to see a person that you've been dying to see? Maybe it was way back in the 60s and you were lucky enough to go and see the Beatles at the local Odeon, or maybe somewhere in your part of the world. Was it the Rolling Stones, Cilla Black, Dusty Springfield, big names like Brenda Lee, Connie Francis? And were you either lucky enough to see them? Did you get called up onto the stage at all? You know, that impromptu thing. And the reason why I ask you this is everybody says this about, you know, when you first appear on the stage. Over here we have pantomime, and as you know, there's vaudeville around the world. And normally in pantomime, you don't get it that much now because of the health and safety. But all the children would be asked to come up on stage, 7 or 8 of them, and then they would sort of partake in this, you know, fun game with the principal cast. And then sometimes there'd be a picture of that, and that's how they got the publicity. Did you do any of that? And more importantly, when you did meet that person, maybe it was, as I say, a singing superstar like Tom Jones, and he whipped you up on the stage, girls, kissed you passionately on the stage, and then threw you back down. Is it a moment that you've truly never forgotten? You know what I'm saying? See, if you remember that famous video with Bruce Springsteen, Dancing in the Dark, I think it is, where we all thought he just pulled somebody up from the crowd, and it turned out to be years later to be the Friends actress, do you remember? Courtney Cox. Hence the reason you never can fully trust whatever you're seeing. But in normal worlds like yours and ours, did you stand next to your star? Did you meet them maybe backstage afterwards? Did you go and collect their autograph? Or indeed, were you lucky enough to have a picture with them? I thought I'd turn it over to you today as the point of, you know, when we're looking back at nostalgia. So if you like, and if you're willing, do share your memory of who you met and whatever. And at a further episode, if your stories, and you don't mind, if your stories, you know, one that you want to share, we'll reveal it back and we'll share it with the rest of the chums. And then we'll get somebody sort of going about wonderful memories. I think that might just work. And more importantly, don't be shy if you haven't told anybody about your secret crush. It's safe with us here on the channel. You know it is. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.